win, and guess what? Jake Paul is right again, and this decision will prove to be positive for him.
Yeah.
But that said, he's got a broken jaw.
Done so much for me, and I just am happy and grateful, and just all the life memories that are created through these fight weeks, and everything that we've done is just...
You've got to make this kid have a reality check. And that's what he actually did, because Jake Paul himself said, I'm shattered.
Logan Paul confirms Jake Paul is stepping away from boxing after his devastating loss to Anthony Joshua and the broken jaw that followed. This shocking retirement marks the end of an era for the Paul brothers in the ring. Jake's resilience was undeniable, but the brutal defeat underscores the harsh realities of facing elite heavyweights.
I hope that life pans out for you, because if you're unable to see this fight for what it is, you have a level of dark hatred, black energy in your heart.
Jake Paul steps back from boxing, confirming he needs time to recover and reflect after his punishing defeat to Anthony Joshua. Despite his broken jaw and brutal loss, Jake shows gratitude for the journey and memories he's created. The fight world loses a bold character, leaving fans debating whether this retirement will be permanent.
Yeah, I'm going to take some time off to go support Utah at the Olympics.
So sick.
Then she's going to move to Puerto Rico. Move her here.
Eddie Hearn highlights the harsh reality behind Jake Paul's retirement. It's not just the loss to Anthony Joshua. His body is telling the story. With a broken jaw and accumulated wear, Jake knows he can't risk another elite fight. Hearn frames it as a calculated decision, acknowledging that even flashy stars must bow to the physical toll of boxing.
His body, I mean, that, you know, I wasn't being facetious before, but like, you never know the landscape of this, but more likely he's thought this is a good time to bow out, or got a few niggles. And
Duke McKenzie tears into Jake Paul, exposing the harsh truth. He stepped into the ring with Anthony Joshua with survival, not victory, on his mind. Every decision, every movement was about avoiding damage rather than dominating. This brutal analysis shows why Jake's loss was inevitable and why his reputation as a serious contender in boxing has officially crumbled.
Jake Paul knew exactly what his tactics would be going into that fight. He was in there just to survive. He wasn't in there to win. He didn't even try to win. He couldn't win. So when you know in your mindset, you know in your mind's eye, I can't win that fight. What do? I've got to survive. How do I survive? I've got to run like a thief in the...
Spencer Oliver's praise feels ironic after watching Jake Paul crumble against Anthony Joshua. While Jake's social media antics made him famous, in the ring, he folded like a rookie. His so-called serious talent evaporated under real pressure. Retirement isn't a loss of a star. It's a relief for boxing fans tired of his overhyped act.
He's a big personality and he sells fights so well, and he's a big character, and the press conferences, the build-up to fights, and what he delivers in the ring. The guy is a serious talent, and he'll be missed when he's retired. That is...
Johnny Nelson doesn't mince words. Jake Paul's retirement is humiliating but inevitable. Time and again, he played the tough guy online, yet in the ring, he couldn't survive a real heavyweight assault. The boy who cried wolf finally faced reality. He was never ready for this level, and now his credibility is shattered.
Since retirement, he's not going to do it again. We've seen it before, and I'm quite sure the common word's going to be the boy that cried wolf. I think in reality...
Tyson Fury's reaction is pure humiliation for Jake Paul. Ending up in the hospital after a one-sided beatdown exposes him as a boxer in name only. The guy who flaunted confidence and hype is now a cautionary tale. Fury underscores the truth. Jake Paul got exposed and humiliated in front of the world.
I think, like, other than boxing, there's a lot of egos involved, if that makes sense. Like, he said this, he said that, and I want this, I want that.
The Wade concept exposes Jake Paul's pathetic approach. Survival, not skill. He ran, ducked, and prayed to avoid being embarrassed, proving he's no real fighter. Even a not perfect AJ made him look helpless. This strategy confirms what fans already know. Jake Paul isn't elite, and his retirement is a long overdue public humiliation.
But I think Jake fought a very, how do I survive long enough to land a right hand type of fight, and it made it a little difficult for AJ to get his timing. No excuses. AJ didn't look great. I'll be honest. He didn't look great. He didn't look like, an AJ we thought we were going to get, the Marauder, the guy that was going to come forward and bang out Jake in one round. Pause.
Carl Froch highlights the absolute reality of Jake Paul's downfall in his final fight. A man overwhelmed and exposed in front of millions. He didn't fight intelligently, he just absorbed punishment, looking disoriented and outclassed. This wasn't a battle, it was a demonstration of why his retirement is inevitable. After suffering a broken jaw and being utterly humiliated by Anthony Joshua, the writing was on the wall. Froch's observations confirmed that Jake lacked both defense and composure, making his exit from boxing not just justified but necessary. Fans can debate his toughness, but no one disputes that he's retiring under brutal, humiliating circumstances.
Very much back. He should have either grabbed on, took a knee, or at least threw a bit more back. He was sitting back with his guard up, taking punches. It looked messy, it looked like he was under attack, and he was hurt the round.
Dana White's comments underline the harsh truth about Jake Paul's mismatched career choices. Fighting opponents far beyond his skill and size exposed him to career-ending damage. Taking a bomb from someone like AJ wasn't just a loss, it was a clear signal that the ring isn't forgiving. Dana's insight reinforces that Jake's retirement isn't just about pride, it's about survival. The spectacle of a younger, stronger, more experienced fighter dismantling him serves as a warning. Jake Paul's journey as a boxer ends here, and no hype or social media bravado can change the reality of his vulnerability at elite levels.
A bridge with my brother, unfixable.
I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight guys your fucking same size. When you fought Floyd, you are massive. He did hit you with a fucking bomb, and you fought.
Dave Allen brutally sums up the truth every boxing fan saw. Jake Paul's final bout wasn't competitive, it was a one-sided humiliation. While Jake may have fitness and some ring IQ, that wasn't enough against a seasoned heavyweight like Anthony Joshua. His cleverness couldn't mask his lack of power and defense. Allen's commentary frames Jake's retirement as the only logical outcome. After enduring a dismantling in front of the world, there's no path forward in serious boxing. Fans may respect his effort, but respect doesn't erase the fact he was outclassed, exposed, and forced to step away while his reputation still limps along.
Well, the fight was, it weren't a fight, was it? Well, really one-sided. Jake Paul, yeah, I've got to give him credit really because he's super fit. He's pretty clever really. Like he'd make a good good journeyman.
Eddie Hearn perfectly captures the brutal reality of Jake Paul's collapse in the ring. While he may have shown toughness, it's undeniable that Anthony Joshua dismantled him methodically, landing the knockout that ended Jake's career momentum and left him with a broken jaw. Jake's movement and defensive efforts bought him some time, but ultimately they were mere delays in an inevitable humiliation. Hearn's praise of his grit cannot mask the stark truth. Jake was outclassed by an elite heavyweight, exposed in both power and experience. The last punch, which would have floored most seasoned pros, highlights just how overmatched he was. This fight wasn't just a loss, it was a career-altering event, confirming why retirement is the only path forward. While fans might debate his courage, Hearn underscores that survival alone isn't enough to maintain a professional boxing career against world-class competition.
So yes, it took AJ a couple of rounds to get hold of him, and then he knocked him spark out and broke his jaw. It was a frustrating 2-3 rounds maybe because Jake was moving so much.
Duke McKenzie doesn't mince words, and his commentary cuts right to the core of Jake Paul's downfall. This wasn't just a fight, it was a public dismantling. After years of trash talk and hype, Jake was met with the harshest reality in the ring. A broken jaw and a reminder that he was in far over his head. McKenzie's point is brutal yet fair. Jake literally asked for it by stepping up against an elite heavyweight like Anthony Joshua. The fact that the fight ended with him merely injured and not incapacitated entirely is almost miraculous. This serves as a stark lesson in hubris and overconfidence. Jake's retirement isn't just a decision, it's a necessity, cementing the notion that certain levels of professional boxing are far beyond his capabilities. His credibility in the sport now hangs by a thread.
I'm glad Anthony Joshua did that to him, because now he won't be able to talk like he does for a while. We won't have to listen to his
boxing ego underscores the severity of Jake Paul's defeat in stark, unflinching terms. A jaw broken in 2 places isn't a minor setback, it's a career-defining injury. Beyond the physical damage, it symbolizes how overmatched Jake was against Anthony Joshua's experience, power, and precision. The visual evidence, made clear with graphics, leaves no room for debate. This was a complete dismantling. Injuries like this are career-ending, and anyone observing objectively can see why retirement becomes unavoidable. While Jake's persona often overshadowed his in-ring performance, this defeat strips away all pretense. Boxing isn't just about toughness or showmanship, it's about skill, timing, and resilience under pressure, and Jake failed to demonstrate sufficient capability against a world-class fighter. This analysis cements the fact that his decision to retire is not only prudent, but entirely necessary for his long-term health and legacy.
Kid has a broken jaw, it appears, after fighting Anthony Joshua, right? I made this graphic for you guys. You see it. Got his jaw broken in 2 places.
Care of me forever and ever, a little fucked up. But when you take care of me forever and ever, a little fucked up. But when you take care of me forever and ever.
Carl Froch delivers a harsh, unforgiving critique of Jake Paul's performance, highlighting the absurdity of his presence in the ring with a true heavyweight like Anthony Joshua. Froch points out that despite swinging wildly, Jake landed almost nothing, a humiliating statistic that exposes the vast gulf in skill and experience. His 18 minutes of survival mode, rather than strategy or dominance, underscores why retirement is the only logical outcome. Froch's blunt assessment reveals that Jake's bravado and hype could never compensate for his glaring deficiencies. The fight wasn't competitive, it was a spectacle of mismatch, and survival alone doesn't equate to achievement. For Jake Paul, this public dismantling and humiliating display of inadequacy are likely to be defining moments, cementing his exit from boxing as a necessary, inevitable, and unavoidable step for his own safety and credibility.
Just a fucking piss take that this guy's in there with Anthony Joshua, swinging away, landing. What's he done? He's had 18 minutes and landed 2 shots, and he's gone on survival mode. And there'll be a lot of viewers on Netflix.
Logan Paul's perspective adds context to Jake's resilience, but even his praise confirms the harsh truth. Jake Paul's career in professional boxing is over. Surviving rounds despite a broken jaw and rolling an ankle shows toughness, but it cannot erase the humiliating fact that he was clearly outclassed by Anthony Joshua. Logan's words highlight that Jake's survival was remarkable, yet ultimately insufficient. Longevity in the ring doesn't compensate for being outmatched by a world-class athlete. This commentary serves as a double-edged sword. It praises courage while simultaneously confirming the necessity of retirement. The brutal knockout and resulting injuries are glaring indicators that Jake cannot compete at elite levels, and his legacy will forever be overshadowed by this defeat. Retirement is not only justified but urgent, ensuring he preserves his health while stepping away from a sport he can no longer dominate.
My opinion, 4 of them. People will argue that he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fucking fighting, man. Like, that's toughness. You know, most people wouldn't have the balls ever to step in a boxing ring in their life. He stepped in a boxing ring with one of the baddest men on the planet. Who's 40 pounds heavier than him, is 6 inches.
After witnessing the brutal dismantling of Jake Paul at the hands of Anthony Joshua, it's crystal clear that his boxing career has reached an unavoidable endpoint. Every analyst, from Carl Froch to Eddie Hearn, has highlighted the same story. A fighter outclassed, overmatched, and physically broken. The broken jaw, the survival mode, the failed offensive. It all adds up to one undeniable fact. Retirement isn't just an option, it's the only choice. Jake Paul's era of hype and online bravado ends here, and the boxing world has spoken. While his toughness and willingness to step into the ring deserve recognition, courage alone can't make up for a lack of skill at the elite level. Fans, pundits, and aspiring fighters alike must see this as a lesson. The ring is unforgiving, and only the truly prepared survive. Now we want to hear from you. What's your take on Jake Paul's retirement? Was it inevitable, or could he have done more to salvage his career? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.